together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hello, good afternoon. Yep, it's afternoon. Making sure. Just making sure. It's a little too warm for this hoodie. Thank you for joining me. It is appreciated. I am going to wait a minute or two for to let people come on. There was a disruption in the club, and I had to sit down with the with Pastor Marcia, and we are still moving forward. I'll just say right real quick here. I made a mistake on something, and I misunderstood it, and the board thought I was trying to do something sneaky. But I don't blame them because they've been abused in the past. Other people, there was one guy, I guess, was they trusted him to start some meetings. They gave him a key, and he moved into the darn church. Hi, Amber. I'm glad I caught you this time. But we had a really, really good discussion. January 19th, we are still on for the grand opening. We are going to be open on Tuesdays and Thursdays. They want me to start in the conference room downstairs, and this is all okay. It's fine. I just need the meetings to happen, because there's going to be a need, and it's going to happen very, very soon. And I don't have control over the time. See, in January, we're going to get a rush of people. Happens every January. We're going to get the rush of people. And Adams County is doing some cool things to help us with some stuff. I'm hoping that Crossroads comes up and opens a treatment center for us. But if there isn't AA available, then what's the point? So making sure that AA is available, but it's happening the way that God wants it to. Okay. It's not a business in the usual sort. Nobody's making any money off of this. Okay. The only thing I'm going to take out of it is gas money. And I don't live that far from the church. So we are back on. And I gotta give props. Her name is Pastor Marcia, and I gotta give this woman some cool freaking props, man. She gives so much of herself, and she's been giving back to this community for quite some time, and I want to give her some props, man. She has done everything to help us out. I told her this is a Jerry Maguire situation, that I take this from the Jerry Maguire, because I told her how I was going to approach the board, and that is help me help you. The way I see it is the church is helping us out. So therefore I need to do something to help the church out. Right. That way everybody is getting something out of it. I let them know if they want me to come down and tell my story, I'm more than happy to. And they kind of asked me, hey, will you come run the sound every now and again on Sundays? And I can do that. I can take my own time out so that we can get what it is that we need. Okay. We're still going to do Tuesdays and Thursdays, but I haven't figured out what day I want to start on. Hi, Ingrid. It's good to see you. Good to see you. I just remembered this. I hope my wife's not on. Last night, she says, why is your friend Owen texting me? I'm like, what's going on? So I pick up my phone, look at it. It's not my phone. I'm like, honey, you have my phone. Oh, poor thing. Poor thing. But so I'm glad that we had that. I'm glad that I had that conversation with her because I did kind of feel like I was being treated the way that I was being treated because other people had done stuff. And she actually brought that up, and I appreciated that. You know, um, if this, the thing is we can always handle these things like adults. There was, there's no reason for people to get mad. There's no reason for people to get offended. I stepped out of my lane a little bit, and I learned a lesson from that. I learned a lesson from that. Okay. And I'm going to make mistakes. It's okay. But what it did do is make our communication that much better. Now we're even closer because we've gone through something turbulent together and we worked it out. She was probably, expecting me to be kind of pissed, but it wasn't necessarily her, right? So I'm glad that God gave me that time this week to think about it. Al-Anon has not gotten back to me. Neither has Alateen. So I think that's going to um, um, my wife must be on. Oops. Oh, I'm gonna tell you what. I don't. There's not much I can give my wife a hard time on. So when they come along, I gotta take them. All right. My wife is the closest thing to perfection that I know. So she probably doesn't believe me, but that's how I feel. So, um, the podcasting. Um, I need to find my passion back in it. I've kind of lost my passion with it. Once it gets going and it starts moving, it starts to move. It starts to move along. So I'm going to ask that if you know somebody that wants to tell their story, please send them my way. Please send them my way. Now you don't have to go out searching, but if you see somebody or know somebody that you think would be a good speaker or you'd like to hear their story, have them reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to go ahead and set it up. Once I feel obligated, I'll do it, if that makes sense. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to set myself up to succeed at that. Okay. And I'm good at finding speakers or picking speakers, but they're not always easy to find, right? Not everybody is willing to come on and tell their story, and that's okay. It is not it isn't necessarily a requirement that you tell your story in AA, but once you hit that year, you should take what I do on my birthdays is I go sign up at my local club and I go tell my story in person. I started that tradition last year. Well, that was the way I always did it before. Um, so everything is exactly where it needs to be. Um, so I am going to need a little bit of help with it. Um, I'm sure I'm going to miss something, and I wouldn't mind one or two people helping me out with it. Um, just coming up like we need spoons, we need cups, we need napkins, we need that sort of stuff is what I need to start thinking about now. If I have help on that, then what I can do is I can focus on getting the hybrid portion set up. Now they want me to use the conference room downstairs. I tell you right now, we're going to grow out of that fast. I've already got 20, 30 people there that want to go. Yeah. because of situational things like vitality, the steps, it's hard for them to get up those steps. Now, granted, we do not have ramps, but we do have one of those chairs that'll take somebody and take them up the stairs. And there's also not that many stairs. I'm going to see what I can do about that. Maybe we can have somebody build a ramp. I'd really like people to have access. I really would. And I want everybody to be able to have access, even if they are on the other side of the country. Okay. My thoughts on what I want to do as far as using, people standing up at the podium. God's not really wanting it that way. It's okay. I understand. Yeah, I should probably wrap this up shortly so we can all hit the 3:00 meeting. Mostly, I wanted to let my people know that the club is still moving forward. There was a misunderstanding, and we worked through that misunderstanding. When I got the news, I'm going to tell you, I didn't take it. I didn't take it very well. And I also looked into it. I also put more thought into it than I needed to on the problem portion. Right. So, like I said, we had a great talk. And I really, really like talking to Pastor Marcia. She's like me. We talked about some things that I will never ever talk about here because it sounds so ego. I could do it here, she's been putting her heart and soul into that church for the last 7 years, and she kind of would think. So what she's saying is it's hard to be a female pastor, and I can understand where she's coming from on that, because in my area it's mostly females. With what I do, yeah, a lot of the influencers are female. Males usually end up podcasting. I don't know if you noticed that. I did. But I would like to find my passion for my podcasting again. I really do enjoy sitting down with other people and listening their story, dissecting their lives, and seeing what we can pull out of that in order to make the world a better place. And, the opposite is true. I don't know why this is coming to my mind right now, but it says in here, I believe it's step 4. And I use this line a lot, but when we reverse it, and then I'm gonna let it go. I'll let everybody go here. Whenever a human being becomes a battleground for instincts, there can be no peace. But when we do the opposite, you get peace. You get peace. There's something about that podcast that brings people back. It helps them understand, and I think it's because it's so simple, and that people really do talk. I mean, I think that podcast gives you different stories than what you would actually hear in person, because what you're kind of listening to is a therapy session. It's what's happening there would be exactly what I would do the first time I ever met somebody when I was a counselor. Yeah, absolutely. So I can take a deep breath. Thank you, everybody, for hanging in there with me for the week and putting up with my fuck 'em all stuff. I'm glad I got friends that understand, man. I really do. Thank you. I love you all. Not as much as my wife, but I love you all. Peace out. I'm sure I'll be back later. And have a day. Bye-bye.